Hi guys, it's Maya here. So I am very late in posting this video, and I do want to say I'm sorry, especially to those people who've checked up on me, Katie and Sierra, and all of you guys who've just left nice comments and who I'm sure were hoping to hear from me sooner. I just haven't had it in me, to be perfectly honest. So, as I'm sure you have already guessed, our transfer did not take, and yeah, it didn't work this first time around for us. So it's been strange actually. I had a gut feeling. So my blood draw for my first beta was on the 31st. That was a Thursday, and I just had a sneaky feeling that I don't know. I had a sneaky feeling that it hadn't worked out. So on the Tuesday, that was 8 days past 5-day transfer, I took a home pregnancy test and it was negative. And the reason why I did that at 8 days past is because with a 5-day transfer and then 8 days past ovulation, that's 13 DPO more or less. And I, on a regular cycle, which of course an IVA cycle cannot compare to, on a regular cycle, I have a 13-day luteal phase. So for me, I thought if I were to be pregnant, chances are at 13 DPO that there would be something on a sensitive test. And yeah, it was totally stark white, not even the slightest line. So I knew, and the reason I also did it in the afternoon because I thought, well, maybe this way I can still surprise my husband, like with the news. But I ended up taking the test and it was negative. So I was kind of like a little shocked, but not devastated, which is strange. It's just all about defense mechanisms, I guess. And then on Wednesday night, I thought I saw a TMI. I thought I saw some spotting. And then Wednesday morning, actually, and then during the day, it got heavier. And I know, like, my husband went online to look, but by this point, I had told him. And he went online to look, and he was like, some people spot all throughout, but I just didn't feel it. So yeah, at 9 days past 5-day transfer, I got my period, and I was kind of like, do I really have to go get this blood test done? Which here by law you have to. It needs to be on record. So I was supposed to go bright and early on Thursday, but since we already knew that hadn't worked, I just went Thursday after work, and we got the results on Friday morning. And yeah, so absolutely, totally negative. And so yeah, right now it's just a matter of waiting. I have now do a natural cycle now, and then we would do a frozen embryo transfer somewhere in July, depending on where I get my cycle. So that's totally unmedicated in my case. Well, not totally. I have to schedule an ultrasound around day 10, 11, not of this cycle, but of next cycle, so July. And day 10, 11, I have to go in for an ultrasound. They were going to check to see where my dominant follicle is at, and depending on that, we will schedule a trigger shot. Now, in my case, it's Pregno, and because that way they can know when I ovulated, because the transfer has to happen 5 days past ovulation, so five days after I ovulated. Like, they need to know that because the embryo it was frozen at that point, so it needs to be transferred back then. And yeah, so we have 14 embryos on ice, which is blasts on ice, which is ridiculous. I know that very many people would cut off an arm and a leg to have that. So I am grateful, but at the same time, it's still just unbelievable that this is where we're at, which is, it's silly that it remains unbelievable having gone through the whole thing. It's like you would think that I would believe it by now, but yeah. While there was hope during the 2-week wait, I was okay. I even picked up a newborn baby, and it was fine. But as the days have progressed, I've been feeling that in the end, I am still struggling to just adjust to this. Yeah, we had a 40% chance this time around. That's what the doctor said with with how the quality of the embryo and everything, he's at a 40% chance. And then with frozen embryos, they have to thaw out properly, and they have to survive the freezing and the thawing, and they have a 60% survival rate, so that's okay. And then a frozen embryo has about a 25 to 30% chance of implanting and carrying it out a successful pregnancy. So it's less than we had now. So it's just difficult to wrap around your mind around all these numbers and the odds, and statistically you can pretty much justify anything, but it's just, yeah, it's just difficult to deal with all those numbers. And also, one thing that I am grateful for, it was just difficult to deal with everybody's expectations of the results, and having to tell people that it didn't work out and feel like you're letting people down. And I guess on some level that's also why I didn't come here to make a video, because I just couldn't deal with the disappointment. Not only my own, but other people's. And yeah, so how I've been coping with this is basically I have this thing. Okay, this is maybe just I have this thing with vampires. I am a total Twilight fan. And now that I'm more grown up, proper woman with IVF cycles behind me, I've decided to move on to the next step of crazy vampire stuff. So during my recovery period after the transfer or the retrieval and the transfer, I had taped a bunch of episodes of True Blood, like 20. And so I got totally addicted, and now I'm addicted. And so it's just easier to, to be in a totally ridiculous world, than to be in my own reality, which is just, I know that's more or less how I cope. I'm not a drinker. I don't do any kind of, I'm not a thrill seeker. I'm not a drinker. I watch TV and just kind of get into that so that I have to deal with it. But I've been having a tough time, especially around people. We went to a birthday party for a friend of ours, and on Saturday night, and I was very emotional, and I was talking to someone that I don't even know that well, and I just started crying there in a bar, like surrounded by people. And because you know what, I had wished by then, I didn't realize until it was like a negative result that I had been looking forward to. This past weekend here in Belgium, it was Father's Day, and I hadn't realized I had been waiting or hoping that I'd be able to wish my husband a happy Father's Day for the first time now, but apparently I was. And tomorrow is our 2-year wedding anniversary, and I guess I had hoped up also for that. So as these milestones approach, I realized that I had been hoping to be in a different situation, and as that hasn't happened, I've become more emotional. So sorry. So yeah, that's been just tricky to deal with, because as the days have gone by, it's become more real, and you keep looking towards the next cycle, and thinking that you don't know how that's going to work out either, and you keep postponing maybe by then, and maybe by then, and maybe by my birthday, or maybe by my mother's birthday, or maybe by Christmas. And just, we've been doing this for 2 years, and it's getting really old. And yeah, so my husband was like, you know what, I'm not a drinker at all, but if there's anything that I will drink at a party, just because it's a quick shot and it goes with salt and lemon, I don't have to taste the alcohol, I will do a tequila shot. I haven't done it in years. But my husband was like, you know what, why won't you, just do it. And I got so sad that it was a possibility for me, that I wish more than anything in the world that I couldn't have been drinking alcohol on Saturday night, and I could. And the fact that I could, because I wasn't pregnant, was just too much, and I started crying in the bar. It was just pathetic. And our friends, save for a couple, they don't know, and so it's difficult to keep it from them. And there was a pregnant lady with me in the bar, and other people who are expecting their first grandbaby, and they were talking about it. It's just difficult to deal with. My life is like a minefield, and I'm trying to avoid it at all costs. So that's what it is. In this case, no news, unfortunately, has been bad news. So I'm sorry I kept you hanging, and yeah, I'll keep you posted with what we do now. For right now, it's just waiting it out and trying again. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.